What's up, guys? Jeff here with Grit City Fitness and Performance, and today I want to talk to you about body weight set points and why it's important to take dietary breaks. Alright, so first let me get right into the first topic, and that's body weight set point. Now, if you've done any sort of diet or had any friends that have done diets, what they have or you have most likely experienced after losing the weight, after performing the diet for a certain amount of time, is once you get off the diet, you basically upregulate back to your initial or higher than your starting weight. So if I was 200 pounds and let's say I lost 15 pounds in 12 weeks, and after the 12 weeks, I don't keep my diet the same or make any modifications, whatnot, what ends up happening for 95% of people is they go right back to where they started from. So they gain all the weight back that they just lost. Or they gain even more. Okay, so what that is, and the reason it happens, is because your body wants to be in homeostasis. It wants to basically feel comfortable. And to feel comfortable, it has a set body weight. That set body weight is what I consider a body weight set point, right? So in my case, that might have been 200 pounds. That 200 pounds is my body weight set point. That's where my body wants to be. That's why if you have been at the same weight for a long, substantial period of time, it's because that is where your body feels most comfortable. Okay, so it's your body weight's set point. So, with that being said, you could lose any sustainable amount of weight that you might want to, but without proper training and re-regulation back into regular eating, dietary habits, most likely what's going to end up happening is you're going to gain all the weight back. So, it's important to know that one premise. From there, though, what this topic is really about is understanding the importance of dietary breaks. Okay, a dietary break is, let's say I'm trying to lose again 15 pounds. I lose 15 pounds in 12 weeks. After that 12 weeks, a lot of people would continue to diet down to their goal. So let's say I was actually trying to get to 170, so I'm trying to lose 30 total pounds. What most people will end up doing is losing 15 pounds in 12 weeks and then continuing their diet for another however long it takes to achieve their goal. But what ends up happening with that is you're constantly going negative in different formulas, or basically what I want you to think about is playing cards, right? You have 52 cards in a sense that you can play a hand of poker with, in a sense. Well, when we're losing weight, each time we change something, we deal a card, okay? So when I modify someone's calories, I deal a card. When I change someone's cardio, I deal a card. So every modification and tweak and change you make to a dietary platform or to a goal is dealing out cards. Eventually you run out of cards, right? So what we want to think about is taking dietary breaks to gather all our cards back, shuffle them back up, and re-implement the strategies back. But this also is important because we want to make sure that we do a body weight set point. So the reason we take a dietary break is because we want to re-regulate our body into this new goal weight, or the new weight that we're at, so it's easier to continue to drop to our next weight down. So again, if I was 200 pounds and I lost 15 pounds in 12 weeks, I'm going to take a dietary break for anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks. In this dietary break, the main goals here are to maintain our weight and basically maintain our current weight, so in this case 175, maintain it and change from a 200 pound set point to a 175 pound set point. It also, so basically it's helping us make a new set point, and then also is allowing us to reintroduce calories or an increase in calories back into our diet to then be able to then start subtracting back out again for success in the long-term strategy of losing weight. So going back to the initial concept here of most people trying to lose 30 pounds, well, they continue to play these cards, and cards are taking calories out, doing modifications to training, making modifications to cardio. Well, again, eventually you run out of cards to play. So, every 12 to 20 weeks or so, I recommend you take a few weeks off. In these few weeks that you do take off, things don't really change. You're not trying to re-regulate back to your initial starting habits, but what you are trying to do is upregulate your calories, reintroduce a new set point for your body, and figure out how you can start again re-implementing a new strategy into continuing losing weight. So, what I recommend here, every 12 to 20 weeks, depending on how long your goal really takes, go on a dietary break. Inside that dietary break, it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks or so. You're going to try and maintain and regulate your new body weight that you're currently at by keeping everything the same, but slowly regressing some of your training, slowly regressing some of your cardio. So if I was doing 3 hours a week of cardio, I would try and regress that down slowly back to maybe an hour over time without gaining weight. Okay, so it's a slower process. That's why it's 4 to 6 weeks, because we're not doing a gradual change everything right back, but we're trying to change small modifications on a basically every 2 to 3 days or weekly basis. That way we're not completely overhauling our whole plan. From there, we're going to basically start reintroducing calories into our diet. So maybe the first week we go from where we're at now. Maybe let's say I have a 2,000 calorie per day diet, and I'm just going to add 250 calories per day into my diet, bringing my daily calorie intake from 2,000 to 2,250 calories on a daily basis. I'm going to continue that strategy for a whole week. If I do not gain weight, then I'm going to do the exact same thing again and add an additional 250 calories per day. The reason for this is because we're trying to upregulate our calories. The goal is to have the highest metabolic effect on food you can. So if you're constantly in a calorie deficit of 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories, it's very hard to continue to lose weight, gain weight, or any sort of modification to your body and health because you are at such a low standpoint. So we want to upregulate as much as possible. So we back off some of our training slowly, try and make sure that we're not gaining any weight. We want to increase our calorie intake on a week-to-week basis without, again, gaining any weight. So our metabolism is readapting to the new stimulus and new amount of calories being re-implemented into our diet without gaining weight. And then from there, after the 4 to 6 week dietary break, we can then go back onto a diet. Again, every time we do this, we take that dietary break. It's like pulling all the cards that we've dealt, reshuffling them, and having a whole new fresh deck of cards to now go play our next hand with, right? So if you were to sit at a poker table and want to play 100 hands, you would not be able to sit and play off one deck continuously. You'd have to pull the cards in, shuffle them, and re-deal. You'd have to do that a couple times. On longer term goals of anything more than 12 to 15 pounds, you're going to want to take these dietary breaks, and you're also going to want to make sure you set a new body weight set point. Okay? And again, that new body weight set point should be implemented every time you get to either a halfway point or a new goal weight. So if my end goal was 175 pounds and I now have achieved it, my goal now is to now reintroduce my body into making that my new set point. So now I do not gain the weight back to 200. Hopefully this makes sense for you guys, and it makes sense on how you guys should start implementing this into your own strategies for your nutrition, as well as taking these dietary breaks if you have a longer term goal to make sure you have long-term success, as well as when you do achieve, again, going back to my initial 30 pounds, trying to get down to 170, and I'm at 185 if I lost 15 pounds, making sure that if I did get down to my 170 and I rebounded, I'm not rebounding all the way up to 200, but I'm rebounding to 185 because that's a lot easier to now rework back down to my goal weight of 170. All right. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below and I'll be happy to answer them in a more or a better understanding way for you guys. Hopefully this is some implementation that you guys can take and utilize for yourselves, and you understand and know why this strategy is important.